Hello and welcome to the second episode of the Give and Go podcast presented by Sport.media. My name is Daniel Freeman and I'm joined by Dylan Brown, Jed Lanyon and Jared Gardner. We are going to preview our Aussies in Action segment. Will usually be part of the normal weekly podcast, or I don't know if you call it a vodcast, or what do you call it now that it's got video as well?
Sounds like we're drinking vodka.
I don't know what we call it, but anyway, visual podcast. But this week we're going to have it as a separate podcast because we're going to preview all of the Aussies seasons and what we are expecting out of them. We're going to start with, I think it's pretty clear now to say, our best player in the NBA. Brownie, kick us off with the preseason predictions and what we want to see out of Ben Simmons this year.
Well, we want to see Ben Simmons, everyone knows, develop a damn jump shot, because goddamn, he's so good, and yet he can't. His ability is that good that he can score up to 16. He averaged 16 points.
Yeah. Which isn't
season.
even his strength. So.
And if he could have a jump shot, he'd easily average over 20.
Yeah.
And he's...
Have you seen the video of him shooting threes in China recently before the game against Dallas?
Yeah, no one guarding you.
His jump shot looks weird.
It comes across
he releases the ball
body.
He releases the ball like there.
Yeah.
And it's like it should be his arm should be below the ball, but he's releasing it there and I'm like he was making them, but it's just whatever works, but it does look weird.
Been shooting with Markel Fultz.
Yeah.
Well, every single one of his threes last year were a heave at the buzzer from pretty much half court or three-quarter court.
Yeah, I had all 10 of his Simmons three-points attempts on the season came on pointless buzzer beaters at the end of quarters.
Do you want to see, so do you want to see this year him just attempt them? Is it about making them or just attempting them?
He just needs to, I don't care if he doesn't shoot threes, just extend your range to even just a mid-range. Like, he doesn't even have a mid-range game at all.
No. He's just got a
if
few
he
of
had
those little
that,
pushes.
the spacing, they wouldn't sag off so bad. We saw in the Celtics series, they just exposed him bad.
Well, it worked in the regular season, but as soon as we got to the playoffs, when they can game plan for you. Yep, and so similar numbers for assists would be a pass mark for Simmons this year if he did similar to last year. Yep.
Yeah.
If he gets an All-Star appearance, is that an A+? Is that his mark?
Yeah, I would say so.
Grading? Yeah. All right, fair grade. Jared, take us off with Jingles.
Oh, good old Jingles. A guy that
Legend.
4 years in the NBA now. This is his fifth season coming up. Last year, averaged 11.5 points, around 5 assists, 4 rebounds. Shot 44% from three.
Does he have a dump shot? Sorry, Brownie.
He's a guy that started 81 out of 82 games for a team that won 48.
Yeah.
So he's one of the best three-point shooters in this league.
Percentage-wise, I think he nearly is the best.
He reckons he's the best, and he has confidence, which is really good.
Yeah.
Also, Basketball Reference ranked him the 8th best small forward in the league, which I think we'll
pay you later, Basketball
There's
Reference.
a lot of talented small forwards in the NBA. I think he's great offensively, like he's a great spot-up shooter, but I think his value does come defensively, is nitty-gritty. He showed it in the OKC series against Paul George. I think he's just got to play his role this season. He doesn't need to up his scoring. He doesn't need to up his productivity because Donovan Mitchell's going to do that. Hopefully, Rudy Gobert is able to up his offensive ability.
Plus, played the whole season.
Yeah, and I think Ingles, if he just has another season, a very slight improvement would be very good for him.
Yep, definitely. All right, Jed Exum.
Yep, same team, sticking with the Jazz here. Dante Exum, a very different year to Joe Ingles. He only played 10 games, all coming in the playoffs.
Yep.
Averaged 5 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, but in just 11 minutes.
Ruined by injury.
Yeah, as we all know, he's pretty much career to this point.
Yep.
I think for Exum, he's never played more than 41 games in a season.
Yeah.
Consistency seems to be the issue. He can't get on the court for long enough. So for me, the goal for him would just be to stay healthy.
Yeah. How many games would be a pass mark? How many games do you want him to play?
60 plus, considering the game time
where
he's
he's
had.
at. Yeah.
60 would almost be an A+.
Yeah.
It'd be great to see him get continuity.
And just show those flashes that we've seen from him.
Yep. He's probably got a couple more seasons where it can just be flashes and then he needs to start putting it together. But I think especially,
now.
Exactly, but so many of them have been ruined by injury that we just want to see a season where he can put it together and play 60 to 70 games for Exum and contribute. Then that's
just be a role player.
Yep, that would be perfect for Exum. All right, I'll go to Delhi. Good old Delhi, who, unfortunately, a lot like Exum, had his season pretty much decimated by injury. This year, much like Exum, for me, it's just about 70-plus games for Delhi. He just needs to get back out there. We know he was completely overhyped when in those Cleveland finals, when he was matching up with Steph Curry. But then, the Curry stopper, as everyone was calling him. But now, in the last couple of seasons, especially last year, he only played the 38 games, and only started 3. So he just needs to get more opportunity, which is going to be difficult behind Bledsoe and Brogdon. But I do think he can do it. These might seem a bit unrealistic, but last year he only averaged the 4 points. The year before, when he was at least playing, the year before he played 76 games, he was just above the 7 mark. I want to see if he can take it up to 10. Let's crack that double digit. I think he can do it, but and also if he can jump back to around 40% from 3. So he's around 40% in his last 2 seasons with the Cavs. He's down to about 37% with the Bucks. So it's just a small jump in double digits and string together a healthy season, and that'll be an A+ for Delhi. All right, let's go back to Jed. Let's go to Paddy.
Paddy Mills is in for a big year now.
Yep.
Loss of Tony Parker, Danny Green, but now Dejounte Murray going down with the ACL tear. So Paddy started...
Not just that, but Lonnie Walker as well. Ginobili's not there, so their backcourt is completely opened up now.
So, he's going to shoulder a lot of those guard duties. He started 36 games last season, and in those games he averaged 11 points, 3.4 assists.
It's pretty disappointing last year, to be honest.
Yeah, he had a down year, but he played a career-high 26 minutes, so he was relied on more so than in previous years, and it's only going to trend upwards. It's funny now, he's the longest tenured player on that Spurs roster,
which is insane.
It's crazy considering their history.
Yep.
He's going to need a big year. In terms of points, maybe anywhere up to 15 points is going to be...
He's going to have the opportunity. He probably will start at point guard. I don't see who else is starting. So
5 assists per game.
Yep.
He's going to have to distribute.
Yep, exactly. All right, let's go to Brownie with Thon Maker.
Maker season, it started okay. He started the first few games, but by the 8th game, he was dropped to the bench and he didn't really recover. He averaged 4.8 points per game, 3 rebounds, and just under 1 block.
That's all we've seen.
And in spurts, Maker's as an NBA center that every team in the league wants. He can.
You look at his highlights and you're like, this guy should be amazing.
But he's not consistent at all.
The whole way it's been like that, though.
Yeah. He showed in playoffs.
Yeah.
I think it was against the Celtics. He had
a couple of nice moments,
blocks. But, for his pass mark for me is just he needs to start for this team.
Consistency.
And he's the key to the Bucks pushing it, taking the next step.
They picked him pretty high. There was not many people who thought he would go as high as he did. So there's certainly, and there is so much potential.
And with that, it brings that expectation and hype and everything.
Exactly. All right, we haven't forgot about you, Bainesy. Bainesy, he's already got in a fight with J.R. Smith, which the pass mark for Bainesy is just don't jump when Giannis is going to dunk. Just walk away. Because Giannis is trying to murder you.
Just don't get put on a post.
We love you, Bainesy, but please stay away from Giannis in the paint. But no, in all seriousness, I gave Bainesy an A+ last year. I thought he was fantastic for what he did.
Standout other than Ingles.
Exactly. He started in 67 games last year, and his previous career high was 17 with the Spurs back in 14 and 15. So he had an amazing year. It's never going to be about stats for Baines. It doesn't have to be. He did even hit some threes. We'll have to see if that keeps going or if that was just a postseason thing to stretch out the Celtics. As I said, numbers don't really matter. If Hayward returns and Tatum gets pushed to power forward, maybe his minutes reduce a little bit. But we would just want to see the same things of anchoring that defense and the rebound. He could lift his rebound numbers a little bit. They're a little bit low, but be the help with Horford to be the anchor to that number one defense.
I also think that even if he does get pushed because of Tatum and Hayward
his bench
taking
minutes
those
will
spots,
still be there.
I think he did a great job at Detroit a couple of years ago, coming off the bench and playing that anchor role.
Yep.
I think he knows how to play that role for the Celtics, and I think he can do it well.
Yep, pass mark is the same as last season, honestly. Like, if you do that again, incredible effort. Incredible effort from Bainesy. All right, Jared, help me with his name. Ryan
Broekhoff.
Go for it.
I'm really excited. This is probably the Aussie I'm most excited for in the league this season because he's finally got his shot. He's been such a great shooter in Europe and in FIBA competition for Australia.
For the Boomers.
He's been... I think he's had a really solid preseason. He's averaged 6 points a game in 16 and a half minutes for Dallas and shot 50% from three, which I think goes a long way to him getting minutes on the Dallas roster. I think Dallas are kind of they don't really know what they are at the moment. So I think he can kind of push for minutes and he's shown that he can adapt to the NBA 3-point shot. So I think he's going to have a great year. And I think just a pass mark for him, if he can get to 15 minutes a game throughout this season and average 7 or 8 points, I think that's awesome for Ryan Broekhoff.
Yep, agreed. All right, Jed, Jonah Bolden.
Bolden, 6'10", athletic center forward.
You can tell we're reaching the bottom of the barrel.
I think for
our knowledge limits are running low.
For him, just break into the Sixers rotation. He's not going to get a spot, take over Embiid's spot or anything. I think just
really no way.
Just earn his minutes. He's going to be on a playoff team. Who knows? He plays 10, 15 minutes a game. Some games jumps up to 20. I think that's a goal for him.
Yep, agreed. Brownie, you have...
Oh, is that comfort?
Yes, go for it.
He just
the other
signed
day,
with the Atlanta Hawks.
Yep.
He's coming off a Rookie of the Year campaign for the Sydney Kings.
Yep.
He played 26 games for them, including 6 starts over the course of the 2017-18 season. Averaged 6 points, or just under 7 points, 6.9, 3.7 rebounds and a block a game.
Yep.
So... apparently the contract is not guaranteed. So my expectation is he'll probably be playing with their G League team.
These guys we're getting to now are going to be fighting for their spot the whole year.
So my expectation, at least get one NBA game.
Yeah,
I'll just add on Humphreys. I watched him a lot last year in the NBL. He also had a really good youth campaign playing for the Boomers. I think it was under 17s or under 19 World Championships where he averaged, I think it was 18 points, 11 rebounds and 3.5 blocks a game. So he did that, then went
Jared's
to Kentucky.
Taking over the segment. You can have it.
He did that, then went to Kentucky, and he obviously was never going to be a star for Kentucky, but got to play in that system, and I think he can develop into a good NBA player. So I hope he does get his opportunity at Atlanta.
Don't stop now. Deng Adele, keep going.
Deng Adele is one I'm really excited for as well. He comes into the NBA undrafted out of Louisville. He averaged 11 points a game for over 3 years at Louisville, and that kind of is brought down by 4 points a game in his freshman year. He averaged 15 points a game in his final year, decided to make the move to the NBA. Unfortunately, did go undrafted, but got a roster spot with Toronto, and he's fighting for one of those contracts. He didn't play in their first preseason game.
He versed Melbourne, didn't he?
Yeah.
Or as they say, Melbourne. Melbourne.
He didn't play in their first preseason game, but then against Melbourne, came in, played 16 minutes, shot 5 of 5, including 1 3-pointer for 13 points. The only knock on that is he came on when they were up by 40 points.
And the headline to the article I read on that story was, Deng terrorises Melbourne United for 13 points.
Yeah, so I think he's shown glimpses and he's a really good size at 6'7".
Yeah.
So I think the pass mark for him, I think he hopefully lands a two-way spot on the Toronto roster and get a couple of games in the NBA and just show his worth and prove a point.
Yep. And finally, Mitch Creek, who... Now, he's been involved in an absolute fiasco to get to the NBA. So he played with the Adelaide 36ers. They attempted to block him from signing with the Nets. They actually went all the way to the Supreme Court of South Australia. They wanted $100,000 of compensation.
After they'd already released him.
Yeah. And they didn't tell him they were filing this injunction as well. So he's been going through it with all the off-court stuff. But... I think the Nets as well, both their two-way contracts have already been taken. Alan Williams and Theo Pinson. So he's going to be playing for a spot on that G League team again and then looking for chances later. He averaged 14.8 points per game with the 36ers last year. I don't think, unless they played a game today, I don't think he's played in the preseason yet. So look, he's going to be G League and then hoping eventually to maybe get a two-way contract.
He does deserve his spot because he's been a great player for Adelaide over the last couple of years.
Yep.
And I think
he played in the Summer League as well.
Yeah, he did play Summer League. I think he played for Dallas in Summer League. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think it was Brooklyn he played for.
No, it wasn't.
But he does deserve a shot. And if there's a two-way contract somewhere in the NBA that a team can give him, I think why not?
Yep, well, we'll have to see and wait and see how he goes in the G League. But that is all our Aussies wrapped up, all 12 of them. We'll have to see how many make the cut. It is growing. We'll have to see how many make the cut when we get to the final rosters being done and dusted. All right, that is it for this week's episode. We'll be back in a week and a half's time after the first week of action. We're going to wrap everything up. Thank you for watching and listening, and we will see you next time.